In Zimbabwe, in 2019, it was reported that 14.1% of the deaths came from suicides. From 2015 to 2019, 2,058 men died from suicide, as compared to 505 females that died from suicide in the same period. According to the World Health Organization, Zim is ranked at number 34 in the world for the country with the most suicides out of 195 countries in the whole world. I want to say rest in peace to all those people that took their lives. And of course, the numbers increased since we are in 2021. But for those that don't know, this month is Men's Mental Health Month, and I really wanted to focus on men because I think when it comes to suicide, suicide really affects men way more than it affects women, and it's really good that women are able to handle themselves mentally to the point that they don't go on to take their lives. But since it's Men's Mental Health Month, I thought I should share my sentiments and what I think about men's mental health. Hi, how you doing? My name is Psycho, that's Sico. Welcome to the Sicology Podcast, a podcast where I talk about everything to do with life, relationships, and, basically male and female dynamics. After having a period being away, I decided that I needed to come back and share my thoughts, especially mentally, because I've also been on a mental journey, so to speak. And it really did get me wondering, does anyone really care about your mental health that much? Especially as a man. Okay, maybe the title of this podcast was a bit of a clickbait, but I really just wanted to dive deep into it. So, the first question that comes to my mind is, whose fault is it? Why is it that so many men decide to take their lives every year, way more than women? Why? I don't think there's one specific reason. I think there's a lot of reasons that go into it. But I just want to mention, in my own opinion, some of the reasons that I think maybe have contributed to this epidemic or pandemic, rather, that is happening across the world, especially for men and them taking their lives mentally. As we grew up as people, we all watch movies, and in most of these movies, especially the ones with superheroes, you'd see that the superhero is the person that saves the day. They show emotion, but not the type of emotion that is of crying or is of being weak, so to say. Usually, the superheroes would be showing an emotion that shows they are strong, and the superhero is usually a man. And that's part of wiring, because what we watch and consume can dictate how we act towards certain things, you know? And that's one of the reasons. Another reason may be with the fathers, our fathers. Our fathers, maybe as we grew up, especially in the African community, but as we grew up, most of us probably had fathers that told us that as a man, you should man up, and you should be strong for your ladies or whoever, because you're a man. That could be one thing. Another thing is, maybe when we were younger, I can say from personal experience, I couldn't express myself in front of my friends because they would laugh at me, because they'll say, Why would a boy be be getting emotional or expressing himself like that? Because he's a boy. What about, you know, the other reason that a lot of men are always talking about, which is them not being able to express themselves with certain women they're in relationships with. A lot of men have expressed themselves maybe with a woman once or twice in their life, and then unfortunately they ran into the wrong woman, underline ran into the wrong woman, and that woman didn't receive them expressing themselves well, you know? And this type of wiring that happens over the course of years, from the time you were a toddler to the time you are somewhat of an adult, it builds up. And then as you have mental problems as a man, you start feeling like you have no one to talk to. And unfortunately, some then think the best option is to take their lives. It really saddens, or is sad to hear that a lot of men choose to go that route when things are not supposed to be like that. Unfortunately, they are. You know, the other day, I took to myself, or, as usual, uh, to ask people on my WhatsApp status. For those that don't know, that's where it's at, but I'm not going to give you my number just like that. And ask men, why is it that they don't express themselves? Because I didn't just want to have my own reasoning. And I'm going to read some of the responses. So, one guy said, girls don't want a whiny, insecure, and overly emotional person. Plus, females can be brutal when they use it as ammo. Mm. Guys, too. Some of the guys can't take you seriously sometimes. Okay. Another guy said, taking it from an African perspective, and my family specifically showing emotions like depression or the sorts, is a sign of weakness. The one time I expressed my hardships, the response I got was no man should express their hardships in the face of adverse situations because that man isn't able to look after their family. Deep. Another guy said, personally, I was introduced to this thing of opening up at the right stage of my life. And I feel like it's hard for me to do so because it's something new to me. Mm. And then another person said, because that's weakness. In today's society, we say mental health this, mental health that, but we haven't practiced how to deal with it. You say you're depressed, which is equal to cloud chasing. You're depressed, which is equal to you got reasons not to be depressed as opposed to help. What I mean by that is people think it's simple when mental health is concerned, but it's not. As a gent, me going through this is seen as me not having my stuff together, and that's weakness. There were so many other responses, but this episode will go on and on. But I just wanted to share the light of what other guys will be thinking and how they'll be viewing themselves, especially when it comes to expressing with these things, rather. And I'm realizing that a lot of guys just don't have a safe space or don't feel like they have a safe space. You know, it's unfortunate that with some people they actually want to hear guys expressing themselves, but because so many others have made it so hard for them to express, so many guys just get shut off. So, what do I think should be done? I think as gents, you know, and not just because it's mental health month, no, as gents, please seek out some type of help. Therapy. The other day, I actually, this is my first time having some form of therapy with these guys called the Friendship Bench, based in Harare. Very good company. They offer free therapy sessions. This is not a way of advertising them. I'm genuinely just saying, talk to someone. And even if I know a lot of guys get scared to talk to maybe girls about their problems because maybe you don't have the same struggles, but at least talk to your fellow mates. You know, I do that as well. My friends know this, and try and realize that sometimes you need to know who you're expressing to, and that can help you express in a better way. This is a really deep topic, and we are gonna go deeper into it. Um, in the next episode, I actually had a female guest that was talking about expressing yourself, and all this mental health stuff. But I just wanted to share my own light and give you a perspective so that we start thinking, are we treating men the way we want them to be? Are we allowing them to have a safe space to express themselves? I guess it's a food for thought. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm back again, as I said already, and the new name is the Sicology Podcast. Follow me at PsychoZW, that's at SICOZW, and also at the Sicology Podcast on all socials. Until next time, keep your mental health safe. Stay blessed. Peace.